Mount McKinley with hundreds of other climbers. Will he make it home? I'm Jackie Keenum. I'll show you how his family in Lake County is tracking his descent. Coming up next.
It's Orlando's...
I'm Lisa Calagrassi. It's a heart-rending ordeal. A wife worried about her husband who's stranded on North America's highest peak.
In recent weeks, 3 people have died trying to climb it. Tonight, a Central Florida man is 14,000 feet above the ground atop Alaska's Mount McKinley. Back home, his wife sits, waiting and hoping. Jackie Keenum is live in Lake County.
David, Larry Cemento left his home and his family in Eustis 3 weeks ago for the adventure of a lifetime. He set out to conquer the summit of North America's tallest mountain. He succeeded, but soon after, blizzard-like conditions moved in. Now a guide is dead and Cemento and his party are in trouble. Larry Cemento was struck with mountain climbing fever 4 years ago. In this video, the Eustis attorney and other climbers are headed for the peak of a Mexican volcano. After Mexico, Cemento conquered Washington's Mount Rainier, and soon after, set his sights on the highest peak in the country.
He knew this was going to be a tough one, so he trained extra hard.
Last Thursday, Cemento and his party reached the summit of Mount McKinley.
I really thought when they hit the top, they were going to be fine.
Larry's wife, Sharon, was mistaken. Cemento and his expedition were trapped just below the peak by 100-mile-an-hour winds and sub-zero temperatures. One of the party's 2 guides fell to his death while climbing down to get help.
They took it upon themselves to make sure that my husband and the rest of his group stayed safe.
Sharon spends her days waiting anxiously by the phone or on the web, tracking her husband's progress. The first bit of good news came last night when she discovered Larry had made it to a camp where there is food and shelter.
They finally went down around this buttress here and came down to 14,000 foot, so that's where they're at now.
Then you need to move further right.
She also takes comfort in the fact her husband is with world-renowned guide Phil Urschler, seen here during one of several successful treks to the summit.
Well, you got it in your legs? I can put it in your heart. Don't worry about that.
He's not done. He's not done with his life yet and all the good things that he does. So he's definitely coming home.
Cemento's wife has been in touch with National Park Rangers, and they have told her that her husband is physically and mentally exhausted and that another storm front is quickly moving in. He and the others are going to try to hang out at the elevation camp at 14,000 feet to get a day's rest. If all goes as planned, they should be at the base by the end of the week. Reporting live in Lake County, Jackie Keenum, WKMG 6 News.
Boy, let's hope so. Thanks, Jackie. We know who she is.
Believes are to blame.
I heard the noise outside. Pop, 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 pop.
But though he's lost a lot, Berbert says he's lucky. He still has.
After watching a guide fall to his death, the outdoor man reached the summit of Mount McKinley in Alaska, but on the way down, his group was trapped by blizzard-like conditions. Today, as Jackie Keenum shows us, the climbers finally reached base camp.
When Larry Cemento set out to conquer North America's tallest peak, he told his wife that he loved her and he'd see her soon. That was 3 weeks ago.
I have a feeling he doesn't know that I know everything that's gone on.
Cemento and the other climbers got into trouble on the descent from the summit. The expedition ran out of food and batteries after a snow and windstorm left them stranded at 17,000 feet. One of their 2 guides fell to his death after venturing out to find help.
There was just anticipation all night.
The first bit of good news came yesterday when Sharon Cemento found out that her husband had made it to a ranger camp at 14,000 feet. Today, her prayers were answered.
When I called back, they said they were at 7,000. I said, oh, how much further down do they have to go? And base camp is 7,000 feet, so they're at base camp.
Now Cemento, seen here on another expedition, has to wait for a flight off the mountain. His wife is hoping he'll be able to reach a phone by tonight.
I'm down and we'll be heading home, you know. That's what I'm anticipating him saying. He's one that would not let me worry.
If the trip off the mountain goes smoothly, Larry Cemento could be home by this weekend. According to his family and friends, it won't be a moment too soon. In Lake County, Jackie Keenum, WKMG 6 News.
Found and kicked. The Brevard County jury ordered.
The Only on 6, Yvonne Martinez shows us how one man came to the rescue and gave this little bird a second chance.
Adding to Sharon's worries.
No, I'm very assured now that he's on his way home. He's down at the top. There's no more falling off into crevices, and there's no more dangerous points. Except, of course, you know, you never know with an airplane, but besides that, he'll be home as soon as he can get home, I know.
Larry Cimento is an attorney at this Eustis law firm. Workers here have been waiting for the good news as well. Well, next, the climbing party has to wait for weather to clear before the plane can transport them to the ground.
It's hard to even imagine that one human being could be so cruel. 5 days with barely any food. Michelle Kane was there for the family's joyful reunion.
Well, Larry Cimento is back home tonight. He's lost a lot of weight. He has a few cuts and a really bad sunburn, but that is nothing compared to what Larry really had to go through over the last 3 weeks.
It was a hero's welcome at Orlando International Airport. Larry Cimento is back home after he was stranded on America's highest mountain.
We missed you.
Wow, I missed you too.
Give us Larry.
Wow.
A lot of kisses and hugs from Larry's family. This veteran mountain climber set off with 3 other climbers and 2 guides with one goal in mind.
And best of all, he's home. Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ross. Here's another story that's new tonight. Orange County deputies hope you can help.
A gate.
The story of survival. A local man braves the elements for a week when he's trapped on a mountain. Is a local nursing home neglecting its patients? It's a homecoming that's making headlines from coast to coast. A Mount Dora man is finally back home with his family after being stranded on a mountain in Alaska for nearly 7 days. Channel 9's Ross Camp has our story.
Larry Cimento will never forget this moment, the moment he embraces his wife, Sharon, after being apart for so long. Relatives wait in line to hug Larry, a man they've nicknamed the Mountain Man.
They really pulled me through it because I kept thinking about my family and, you know, we'd be back together again soon, and that's what got me through it all, really.
As Larry holds his wife's hand, thinks about his ordeal on Mount McKinley and the weather conditions that put his own life in jeopardy.
Very, very windy, lots of snow, and just spending day after day after day in a tent just waiting for the weather to break.
During that time, tragedy strikes. One of the guides, Chris Hoyman, falls to his death. Hoyman's mom, of course, is devastated.
He was accomplished in every area of his life, but perhaps most accomplished at just really being a fine, sensitive, caring son who really cared about his family.
Cimento feels for the family, trying to make sense of what happened.
I think he was unroped and just really blew off the mountain.
A devastating blow for this climber and his wife.
And I hope he doesn't do these big ones anymore.
We asked Larry about that. His answer?
We'll see.
Ross Camp, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Larry Cimento's lips are chapped and his face is windburned, but he won the battle. The rest is the best. He's back home. Orange County Deputy.
And a Mount Dora man is finally home tonight to tell it. Larry Cimento nearly lost his life on the highest mountain in North America. One of his guides did die on Mount McKinley, and far below, loved ones could only wait and pray. News Channel 2's Joan Fuller has his story.
When I go along this ridge, that ridge is right here.
There's no feeling like it on Earth.
Larry Cimento has been to the mountaintop, literally. It was a dream come true when last Thursday he reached the summit of Mount McKinley.
It was just incredible. I mean, the feeling that you have when you finally arrive at the summit.
But getting that feeling, realizing that dream, took on some nightmarish aspects as the bold climber and his party of 5 faced inclement weather and one casualty, the death of a guide.
The winds just were gusting through there. We didn't expect it. We didn't know that that's the condition that was going to be in. And he had, I did not see it happen, but I believe what happened is he just blew right off the mountain.
The guide's death took its toll on the experienced climber and his family in Mount Dora, who heard the news.
We went from the high of the experience of reaching the summit to the low of that. We felt their prayers, and I think that helped me a lot. It really did.
When Cimento was finally able to get off Mount McKinley, it was a dream come true again.
We took off to fly back out, and then the weather got bad again, and some of the planes got stuck there. So we were, I feel very lucky to have gotten out, otherwise I may still be there.
But he made it home, a little sore, a little sunburnt, and according to his wife, a lot hungry. Much of the group's food was hidden by the blinding snow. Yet as Cemento adjusts to household routine and the hot weather, he says these are all his memories, some good, some bad, but part of his journey to the mountaintop just the same. Joan Fuller, News Channel 2.
Happy reunion for them. There are more problems, though, tonight on Mount McKinley. Nearly 100 mountain climbers are stuck in a base camp because the weather's keeping air taxis from picking them up. The biggest concern right now is food. Supplies are being rationed. There wasn't any shortage of movie star wannabes.
A truck driver was also shot and killed 3 weeks ago during a conflict on the Greenway. Police say that was also a case of road rage. Well, this morning, an incredible story of survival, and a Mount Dora man is finally home to tell it. Larry Cemento nearly lost his life on the highest mountain in North America. One of his guides did die on Mount McKinley, and for days, loved ones could only wait and pray. News Channel 2's Joan Fuller has the story.
Along this ridge, that ridge is right here.
There's no feeling like it on Earth.
Larry Cemento has been to the mountaintop, literally. It was a dream come true when last Thursday he reached the summit of Mount McKinley.
It was just incredible. I mean, the feeling that you have when you finally arrive at the summit.
But getting that feeling, realizing that dream, took on some nightmarish aspects as the bold climber and his party of 5 faced inclement weather and one casualty, the death of a guide.
The winds just were gusting through there. We didn't expect it. We didn't know that that's the condition that it was going to be in. And he had, I did not see it happen, but I believe what happened is he just blew right off the mountain.
The guide's death took its toll on the experienced climber and his family in Mount Dora, who heard the news.
We went from the high of the experience of reaching the summit to the low of that. We felt their prayers, and I think that helped me a lot. It really did.
When Cemento was finally able to get off Mount McKinley, it was a dream come true again.
We took off to fly back out, and then the weather got bad again, and some of the planes got stuck there. So we were, I feel very lucky to have gotten out, otherwise I may still be there.
But he made it home, a little sore, a little sunburnt, and according to his wife, a lot hungry. Much of the group's food was hidden by the blinding snow. Yet as Cemento adjusts to household routine and the hot weather, he says these are all his memories, some good, some bad, but part of his journey to the mountaintop just the same. Joan Fuller, News Channel 2.
And there are more problems this morning on Mount McKinley. Nearly 100 mountain climbers are stuck in a base camp because the bad weather is keeping air taxis from picking them up. The biggest concern right now is food, and supplies are being rationed. Well, Storm Dave.
Coming up next from VNN and the Daily Sun.
The Mount Dora man who was trapped on Mount McKinley is now safe at home. We'll introduce you to Larry Cemento coming up.
I'm Robin. As we first reported to you last week, Larry Cemento has been through quite an ordeal. His climbing party was trapped near the mountain summit for several days due to bad weather, and one member of the team died when he was blown off the mountain. Cemento and his wife talked about the highs and lows of this once-in-a-lifetime experience with our own Lauren Lillian.
Larry Cemento is safe at home with his family after almost a month on Alaska's Mount McKinley. Overall, his experience was a bittersweet one. Larry managed to accomplish something few people ever have or will, reaching the mountain summit. But a major tragedy also occurred. One of the members of his climbing team was killed.
It was just a difficult thing. We all were very close and knew each other very well, I felt like. And that was probably the hardest night of the whole trip.
Larry Cemento lost about 10 pounds and received a severe sunburn on his face. He also lost feeling in his fingertips, but that numbness should subside in about a month. Despite the difficulties, Larry still sees the positive aspects of climbing, and he told us what it was like to be on top of North America's highest mountain.
It really is an incredible feeling. It's you're very, very tired physically, but you're just elated. Spiritually, you feel like you've really accomplished something. Everyone's just as happy as can be. We're congratulating each other, so it's really a special feeling when that happens.
But thoughts of his family and life at home were never out of his mind, especially during the difficult times. Larry has been overwhelmed by the reaction and support he and his family have received from the community during this harrowing experience.
I feel now like there's no other place in the world I want to live but here because of the people that are here. It's just been great.
And what about future climbing plans? Larry's wife, Sharon, won't stand in his way if he wants to climb again.
Oh, I think I would have said no right away when he first came home. But all his climbing friends are calling, and I just don't want him to do anything that difficult anymore. You know, there's other summits, Kilimanjaro, Australia, that he could do that but I don't believe I would worry that much.
For now, this Mount Dora mountain climber is thrilled to be home with his family where it's warm. Larry Cemento has no definite climbing plans for the future, and his family has no complaints about that. In Mount Dora, Lauren Lillian, VNN News.
Meantime, what can be done to save Lake Penistone, America?
Bigger than home improvement?
For a Central Florida man, Jennifer Graham has the story.
Mountain climbing is a passion for Larry Cemento. This home video shows him in action during a hike in Mexico. His latest expedition took him to the top of Mount McKinley with 4 other climbers, but heavy snow and high winds trapped them on the mountain. Cemento's family has been waiting anxiously to hear he was safe. Late this afternoon, his wife got good news. Her husband and his group made it to a rest spot further down the mountain.
Everything's been lifted off me now. I'm not worried anymore.
The climbers hope to catch a flight out of the remote Alaskan mountain area as soon as possible, but the journey won't have a completely happy ending. The man who guided the climbers fell to his death on the way down from the top.
And probably has devastated the whole group. So the elation of making the top of the mountain has probably all changed their attitudes.
Larry's family is hoping he will be home by the weekend. Jennifer Graham, Fox News, Mount Dora.
Well, high pressure